What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about a really hot issue this year in the pedal community, and that is going to be pedal marketing and whether or not it's deceptive. Many instances this year I have personally observed where things have definitely not gone according to plan for some of the pedal builders, the pedal communities, things like that. So we're going to be talking about a wide array of different subjects here. So if you're interested in just one specific thing, please check out the description where there's timestamps and you can like and subscribe and all that stuff. I'd really appreciate it. First, we're going to talk about the Walrus Audio Juliana. If you guys, like me, follow a lot of the updates and stuff in the pedal community, you definitely didn't miss this one, because this was just this massive one day, like a million videos appeared in my YouTube feed, and the only thing that I was seeing were videos for that pedal. So I remember going on Instagram, and Knobs, like everybody's favorite top tier pedal guy, posted a thing on Instagram after the release of his demo, and I want to read a little excerpt from that because it definitely hit pretty hard. New demo day, an actual honest to goodness demo. It's been a while and might be another while before the next. The original Julia video was kind of a special one, so it just felt right. That being said, boy do I ever dislike these massive coordinated video dumps. I had no idea about the scale of this one, and I'm honestly shocked. I think it devalues the work of individuals and makes us all seem like part of a big marketing machine. What I think we can take away from that, and first, that's pretty extreme, right? I mean, if you remember the amount of videos that came out that day, there were so many, it was quite insane. Is it a bad thing that they reached out to a bunch of different demo guys to help promote their pedal on the same day? I definitely don't think so. But with that being said, I'm not a fan of those coordinated video dumps either, because it definitely does, in many different ways, devalue the work of a guy like Knobs, who puts so much effort and creativity and overall weirdness and stuff like that into his demos. So many people use him for the go-to when they watch a pedal demo. They look for him to put it out. So I can definitely understand his comment about feeling devalued. So let's take a step back and look at it from the standpoint of Walrus Audio. The Julia was one of their most popular pedals ever. Might be one of the most popular chorus pedals of all time, well, at least within the past 10 years. So many people have it on their board, at least because of just the design. A lot of people check it out, and it's great. It's a really popular pedal. So we want them to keep their integrity while still being able to, grow as big as they need to be, right? The number one way that they do that is marketing. We can't fault them for wanting to promote the release of their pedal. We can maybe ask in the future that they don't coordinate just this ridiculous massive video dump that fills everybody's YouTube feed with nothing but videos of their pedal. Because it's Walrus Audio. They're not exactly fading from the spotlight. They're not going anywhere. We're not going to forget about them, so I don't think there's this massive need for that. I don't want the pedal community to end up turning on these guys for that kind of stuff, because it really is them trying to grow their company in a normal way. But those coordinated video dumps are excessive, and I can agree with feeling devalued as an artist when you and a bunch of other guys release the same exact thing on the same day, But that being said, we can't fault them for wanting to promote the release of their pedal. We just gotta ask that maybe they do a little bit better job with coordinating how they do it. And that brings me to our second point of the day, which is going to be waiting lists. Waiting lists are obviously a huge hot button in the pedal community. Everybody that I talk to about this has one opinion, an extreme opinion, one way or the other. They're either vehemently against it, to where they're like, I'll never buy from this company because I don't want to give them $300 or something and wait 9 months to get my pedal or something like that. And then there are those that, really look forward to that kind of stuff because it, it feels more exclusive. They really like the creator, they really like the content, or they're just that crazy about the pedal. So one big thing that I've noticed with these waiting lists and stuff like that, and obviously with the T120 being such a massive point of interest. I remember I first found out about that pedal from the Samurai guitarist video that, a few years ago, I guess, when he just did one of those 5 weird pedals or something like that. I remember seeing that in there. It was this VHS delay, right? The lo-fi crackle and stuff, and man, that was insane. I remember immediately going, pausing the video, going to the description and clicking on the link that he had, because man, I really wanted to check that out. I honestly decided against it because, at the time I was definitely looking to save every single penny that I could, and didn't just have that as pocket change lying around. So I just decided against it. And over the past few years, I've kind of looked at the internet. I've seen a lot of comments, both one way positive, one way negative, about the quality and, over mostly just the wait list. So we're going to examine a couple things. Firstly, we're going to take a look at why those things are in place. So let's take a look at Dimadash effects as a whole. It's very unlikely that Steve Dimadash has more than maybe 1 or 2 people that work with him, if anybody. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was just a one-man operation. So basically, if he's like a one-man operation, that means that he's doing all the stuff himself, all the building, all the soldering, all the painting, all the designs, all the screen printing, everything like that, ordering all the parts, all that kind of stuff, sending out, doing all the shipping. It's not easy to do as, one guy. So if you have like 1,000 people, maybe over the course of, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, send you $200 for this pedal, should you be equipped to make a quality effect? Absolutely. We have to look at the fact that he likely did not do this with the intention of becoming or rising to the same level of that as like Boss or something like that. He just made a delay pedal that he wanted to make, that he thought would be really interesting, and it was, and a lot of people really dug it. So I could not really tell you whether or not they're good or bad, because it really just depends on you and what your preference is. If you have that cash laying around and you have that spare time to wait on a delay pedal made by a really awesome dude in Canada, then why not do it? Why not just do it? I mean, seriously, if you got the time, you got the money, you might as well. It's going to come in, he's going to fill the order. So it's just one of those things where you just have to be willing to wait. But basically, we can't fault the company for this kind of thing. Who's to say that in a couple years, Dimadash Effects won't be at the kind of level where he can hire more people, or won't be at the level where he can, get more help to work on his stuff, and there won't ever be an effects or like a wait list for a Dimadash Effects pedal. That would be the dream ultimately, and I'm sure it is for him too. So we have to just have faith that at some point that will happen. I personally think that it is a good thing that he's still offering to build the pedal, that he's still offering his services, even though he knows it's going to take a long time. And it's, obviously a hard thing for retention with your customer base. So I think we should be patient with the waitlist concepts. We should remember the quality of what we're getting. We should be really careful not to judge the companies that we're looking at too hard. Especially, with a guy like Steve Dimadash, where it might just be only him or 1 or 2 other people at most. So ultimately, the waitlist concept is not deceptive. It's definitely something that a company can abuse if in the wrong scenario. But as far as the T120, as far as the Positive Grid Spark, I don't think they're a bad thing. I don't think they're negative. I think they still help promote, the company. They still obviously get the pedal out there to the pedals or the amps or whatever the case may be out there to the community. So the last concept, and probably the longest concept, are going to be pedals that are limited release, limited run pedals, I guess you could say. Now, whether you love them or hate them, JHS has become an extremely prevalent name in the pedal community, especially the past 2 or 3 years, with Josh making his YouTube channel and all that other stuff, and obviously continuing to make good pedals. He's received a lot of attention, and recently, his company put out a series of pedals based on 4 fuzz pedals from 1966. Now, they were all limited release. Essentially, they were faithful recreations of these 4 fuzz pedals from 1966, right? They were just a small pedal enclosure, a foot switch, and a knob or 2. I think there was one that just had 1. So out of that first run, only 20 of each of the 4 were made, and they were sold for $3.99 a piece. Now, a lot of guys in the pedal community felt gypped because they were getting charged almost $400 for, basically a small enclosure that's just a fuzz pedal. But it was a circuit recreation of, these 4 pedals from 1966. In my honest opinion, that was a little expensive. These pedals were obviously pretty cool, but they're just fuzz, so as far as being a limited edition thing, if you're like a super JHS fan, I think it's, at least a cool idea for your fan base and stuff like that. But I definitely wish that they had made them a little bit cheaper, a little bit more accessible to the public, because I think they probably would have, we would be seeing probably a lot more of those on people's boards and stuff like that, because I feel like the majority of the people that use them are probably just, putting them on a shelf as like a, memorabilia, like a really cool collectible pedal. But there have been a few things very recently that have really caught my eye in the pedal community, and really in a bad way. So first, we're going to be talking about the Chase Bliss and Zvex collaboration, the Bliss Factory. This thing, like, like me, I'm sure so many of you guys were like just beyond stoked when this thing was like announced, because everybody knows that that's where Joel came from. He worked on that pedal back at ZVEX. That was kind of like his start. A lot of people know about that stuff, so we were all really excited when this was announced. It's obviously well known at this point that Chase Bliss is, got some pretty expensive pedals. They have amazing amounts of function. They do so much. They're so usable in so many different ways, and they're just weird. They're like great and weird. It's just the way to go. So anyway, we know that Chase Bliss is, really pretty out there as far as the price mark is concerned. Now, when there were only 1,000 of these made and sold through Reverb and everything like that, they're basically sold out within a couple hours, which even Joel himself posted on the Chase Bliss Instagram and was like, oh my god, like within a couple hours 1,000 of these are gone. That's insane. Then a couple days, they were all checking Reverb, myself included, and I'm seeing just ridiculous amounts of like price hike, right? I mean, there was one that I think there was like a $900 one on there. I mean, are you kidding me? People are buying these limited edition pedals with just the intent on selling them. And it's the same thing with pedals on the wish list, with things on, stuff like that. People are literally just buying pedals on the wish list with the intent to just sell them when they get them, because they know that people won't have to wait or whatever for it. And I cannot talk enough about how wrong that is. In many ways, you're making more than the pedal builder himself is making off of his own design. And that's not good. There's just so many things about that are immoral, it's unethical, all that kind of stuff. But proactively, they've been trying to chase these kind of things down, Reverb has. And so I want to read a little bit of a post that Joel made on the Chase Bliss Instagram. Update. After talking with ZVEX and Reverb, at some point in the future, we will be making more Bliss factories in a different color. The current release color scheme will remain limited and exclusive forever. At the moment, I'm not sure when more pedals will become available. I know that there are some people who bought Bliss Factory with the understanding that we would not make more, and with the release of this news, maybe understandably upset. So this is just the first part of the post. I'm going to read some more of it later, but I'm going to pause for a second and talk about basically that last little sentence where he was talking about the people that bought them only because they were a limited edition thing. And this is what I was talking about with the JHS thing, where there are people that just buy those, because they're massive fans of the company, or because they really like the look of the pedal, or they have that much money to just blow around. There are many different reasons, right? So we have to remember that these kind of things are obviously hurting those types of people as well. Now, the next part of the post that I wanted to read, and this is definitely the most important one, I think. It's a little bit long, so sorry about that, but in retrospect, if I could go back and market this differently, I would. I'm not interested in doing limited products anymore. It's just too much of a headache. I've learned that. That said, I'm incredibly proud of Bliss Factory and stand by it 100%, and I'm genuinely really excited to make more and get these in the hands of more players. This started off as a fun idea to promote the pedal movie, and I'm extraordinarily grateful to Reverb for being the catalyst for this product, which turned out to be better than I had ever hoped. So you heard it right there, that they're not going to be doing limited products anymore. And that's kind of the point that I'm getting to here, where these kind of things hurt more than, just the people that have bought them for the limited edition causes. You've upset the maker of this pedal company so much to the point where now he's never going to do something like this again, ever. They're just going to make main release pedals. Now, while this may not be a terrible thing to some people, because it may mean that pedals might become more cheaper and more accessible from Chase Bliss, a lot of the Chase Bliss clout in the pedal community is really from those limited editions. At least to me, that was like one of the most interesting things about them in the beginning, and then now obviously they've just transcended everything with, pedals like the Thermae, the Mood, the Blooper. I mean, God, the Blooper is just on everybody's radar, but it's hard to get. So this scalping of pedals has been it's been almost an epidemic within within this epidemic that we're dealing with. It's ridiculous to buy a pedal for $300-400 and to go and sell it on Reverb for $800 because that they're not going to be making any more of them is insane. It's stupid. You're making literally more than the pedal builder at that point, and you're still buying it from him, and that's crazy. That's like literally crazy. These guys that actually have employees and stuff like that, and they have to pay all these people. You're not giving Joel directly $400. That goes around before it gets to him, and yeah, that kind of stuff, it's just not good. And the same thing has been happening with another pedal that was released, and that is the Earthquaker Devices and Death by Audio collaboration, the Time Shadows. Both of these pedals have been scalped ridiculously on Reverb. As you can see here, it's ridiculous. You can't make a business out of buying something and reselling it for more money. That's not going to last, and it's not, you know, it's unethical. Eventually that will be, I really see like some extreme like reverb restrictions for that kind of stuff coming soon. Maybe even a law one day. I mean, God, that would be the dream for these pedal makers and stuff like that. We have to keep these things genuine. We have to keep the pedal community genuine. You know, we shouldn't be buying a limited edition pedal and trying to make a quick buck off of that because we know that they're not going to make more and a lot of people are going to want that. We should let everybody experience it the way that it's supposed to be experienced. So basically, waitlists are mostly good. They can serve a good purpose but can be abused, right? But depending on the situation, if you're able to find out enough about it and do enough research and feel comfortable, I think they're a good thing. I think they're worth it. Number 2, scalping limited edition pedals literally makes you the worst kind of human being. And there's nothing I can say that I haven't already said in this video, probably excessively, probably way too many times, that wouldn't sum it up already. So scalping is terrible. And then finally, I really hope that in the future we can move forward as a pedal community, looking forward to demo releases for pedals all the time. These types of things can obviously be a hot button, so you can go one way or the other. But please let me know in the comments what you think. I'd love to hear from you guys. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content, and hit all the links in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.